This here's the Remington Carbine. Ever since I started my channel, it's one of the most requested guns people write to me about. And as soon as that sun comes out, I'll be taking this carbine out for a full review. Now, is there anybody here committed to stopping me from doing that? Nobody, huh? All right, well then let's get to it. I'm Dustin and you're watching Guns of the West. Yes, I'm afraid you're just going to have to endure some good old John Ruth references from me. And if you're not familiar with John Ruth, he was the character played by Kurt Russell in the Quentin Tarantino movie, The Hateful Eight. It's one of my favorite Tarantino movies because it's a Western. And this is what John Ruth carried in the movie. This and also a Colt Single Action Army. But this is the one you see him with most of the time as he's chained up to his prisoner, Daisy Domergue, and all that. The funny thing is I think you only see the gun fire once, and not by Kurt Russell. It's much later, but I don't want to spoil too much. Fun movie, but it's Quentin Tarantino, so prepare yourself if you're going to watch it. Lots of fun. Anyway, let's get to this gun. Such a beautiful piece, in my opinion. I love the walnut that Uberti uses on that. I've never gotten a bad piece of walnut from Uberti. I love the brass. And I've said in another video that I don't like how pointy that is because of the way it fits in my shoulder. And I know some of you are screaming at your screens because I've had comments before telling me, Dustin, you're not supposed to shoulder it like a regular rifle. It's supposed to go down lower on your bicep. I understand that, but it's just, I'm such a tall guy versus the size of this. I actually have a lot easier time if I go ahead and just bring it up like a normal rifle. And so I just do it and I just endure it. But, you know, for me, it just is what it is. If you can comfortably get it down a little bit more on your bicep and shoot it well, by all means do that. And yes, it is correct that that's historically how it was meant to be fired. And then this would be under your arm, not into your muscle. You know, more brass up here for the trigger guard, little hook here for your hand, and I'll explain that in just a moment. Remember, we don't put our hands forward of the cylinder when we shoot these. The meat and potatoes of the gun are basically just the Remington New Model Army handgun, except they've changed the back. It's got a different spring so you can have a shoulder stock on it, and then it's got a longer barrel. I believe 18 inches on this one, and it was available in multiple lengths back in the day. 18 would actually be a little short, but I like it. I think it gives it a great look. Same loading lever exactly as the New Model Army handgun, although instead of just the rear sight back here, they did add this buckhorn type sight right there, and it's adjustable only for elevation. But the front sight, at least some of them, if you get one of these new, this is in 2023, I'm filming this, there's a little flathead screw right there, and you can loosen that and then adjust your windage with the front sight, actually, which is unusual. But yeah, your windage is adjusted there, elevation is adjusted here. Well, now that we've had a little look at it and how beautiful it is, why don't we get it loaded up so we can have some fun? All right, so I've got all my loading goodies over here on the table, and here's the carbine. I have to do this off the edge of the table because of the length. We've got a buttstock here being a carbine. But just like on a New Model Army revolver handgun, I'll pull the hammer to the half-cock position, which frees up the cylinder. And my powder charge I'm going to be using is 30 grains, and I've got a 30 grain spout here on my flask. So let's fill up that spout. Go ahead and put it into the chamber. I know that might be hard for you to see on camera. For the projectile, I've got the Hornady 454 diameter round balls. So I'll go ahead and drop one of those on the powder. I'm not using lubricated felt wads today, as you probably know, I typically don't. Rotate that under, get the rammer on it, and I'll just use my loading lever to pull it down all the way. I don't know if you can see, but I did shave a nice ring of lead off. I know I've got a good seal there. And I'll just repeat that all the way around and be right back. All right, with all the chambers loaded with powder and ball, it is time to add some of the Guns of the West bullet lube. Nice firm stuff, doesn't splatter all over the place when you're shooting like boar butter and other products. And with that, it's time to go ahead and put on the caps. To be specific, the caps I'm using are the Remington number 10 caps. And at the time of this recording, I do realize those are still a bit hard to find. They're starting to pop up a little bit. If you're not able to find any, but you want to shoot one of these carbines, CCI number 11 caps will work too. They're just a little shorter, but they have the same internal diameter, so you can certainly use them. And they are definitely easier to find than the Remington number 10s. But I'll just finish putting these on, and then I'll rejoin you. All right, well, I've got a painted orange steel target about 25 yards downrange, and I do realize, yes, that shooting from the Sniper Seat 360 from Benchmaster puts him at a bit of a disadvantage, but keeping him at a disadvantage is an advantage I intend to keep. So with that, let's go ahead and take a few shots at that target. Remember, with these, keep your hand back behind the cylinder. That's what this hook is for. But I've got a little rest here on the Sniper Seat 360. I'm going to keep my face scooted back because, as I've mentioned in other videos, you do get a little bit of stuff in your face with these carbines. Well, let's go ahead and see how we do with the carbine. Hit the target anyway. Definitely felt that one. Get some powder stuff. Some people even wear a bandana. That might be what I need to start doing. Shoots pretty well. Gosh, I love that smoke. Looks like that is all of them. Well, let's go see how we did on that target. Well, I would say it groups pretty well. Again, that was just about 25 yards. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 3 of them almost in one spot. So not bad for a little carbine. I like this gun. And it's a lot of fun to shoot. You just got to be mindful of your face. You might catch some powder and stuff. And also, if you're like me and you're big and you need to get that up higher on your shoulder, you are going to be dealing with that little point. But if you can get it down a little bit lower, that won't be an issue for you. Well, I'd like to see how it shoots with paper cartridges. Let's go try that. Now, if you haven't already heard, paper cartridges are an extremely convenient way to load up your cap and ball revolver. I've got 6 here, and because I'm shooting a Remington, I've made them with round balls. Now, if you're wondering, what does he mean by because he's shooting a Remington? Well, the plunger on the Remington is very blunt. It's not concave like a Colt to handle a conical bullet. You can load conical bullet cartridges. I've done it in Remingtons before, but it really smashes up the tips of them. So for Remingtons, I recommend round ball paper cartridges like the ones I've got here on the table. I'll pull the hammer to half cock, which frees the cylinder. And a Remington is extremely well made for paper cartridges because of the shape in the frame. You can see this groove right here, which allows me to line a chamber up with it, put the cartridge right there in the groove, and it just goes right into the chamber. I'm not putting it on angles like I do on Colts. They just go right in. Put it under the loading lever, just press it down, and then we'll just repeat this all the way around. But tell you what, these cartridges are so convenient. I won't go off camera. I'll just finish it up right here. If I can just keep my hands in the camera, though. That is a challenge. I hope those of you watching my channel understand the challenges of camera work mixed with guns. Totally worth it, though. Lots of fun. And you can probably see I'm getting lead rings off. Paper rings too, but what I care about is that lead ring. It shows me that these balls are nicely sized. Now, before I get the nipples capped up, I just want to point out something that I really like about these Guns of the West paper cartridge boxes. Not only do they hold your 6 cartridges, but if you push it out this way, or just pull it all the way out, there's a small hole with all of my percussion caps that I'm going to need, all 6 of them. All right, well, we're all loaded up with paper cartridges now. I just got the hammer resting on a safety notch. Just need to find something fun to shoot at with the... Oh, no! Well, I'll be a doggone dog in a manger. It's the high fructose gang of carbonated bandits. This time they don't even have faces. What could that mean? They're hiding their identity? Well, that or I forgot to draw them before I brought them out here. I wouldn't think too much into it, doesn't matter. But it's time to take them out, and when it comes to taking out carbonated bandits, shooting's the only way. In fact, you know, you really only need to shoot carbonated bandits, but carbonated bandits you need to shoot. So let's get started. Well, as always, I really hope you enjoyed the video today, maybe even found the information helpful, and I certainly hope that you enjoyed taking this look at the beautiful Remington carbine. This thing could be a wall hanger in my opinion, especially being made by Uberti. They keep the markings so clean, the finish is always so nice. Hey, please don't forget to click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos. And if you look in the description, you'll see where to find me on social media. And if you already are subscribed to the channel, well, la-dee-da. Thank you so much for watching.